So is music persuasive? Is it anti-suasive? Does it trigger the right feelings? Hold music, does it make you a little more angry, less angry? Using it at seminars, does it crank up the energy? This is Thunderstruck from AC/DC. This is my bumper music. I use this at seminars all the time. It triggers the right feelings, gets the energy going. Let's talk about the power of music and sound and your ability to persuade and influence. Let's do it.
Maximize your influence. Kurt Mortensen is the author of Persuasion IQ, Laws of Charisma, and the best-selling book, Maximum Influence.
So the music, does it work? Not work? Use it in the right way? We're going to talk about that. Welcome to Podcast 552. This is Maximize Your Influence. Kurt Mortensen here. Glad to have you. Appreciate your time. Tell your family, friends, and enemies about the podcast. We'll be found on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Again, thanks for being here. We're going to get into one of the most amazing things I found out as I researched maximum influence. And there's multiple studies here that talk about that up to 95% of influence involve a subconscious trigger, a feeling. Like them, don't like them, gonna do it, not gonna do it, trust them, don't trust them. It's a feeling we have. You need to have your logic, your facts, and figures, but most of influence is a feeling, a subconscious trigger. For example, smell goes right to the middle of our brain, our olfactory system, instant feeling. Think about smelling a perfume or cologne of an old boyfriend or girlfriend. Is that good or bad? And the answer is, depends. If it's good memories, it's a good feeling. If it was a bad breakup, probably bad feelings. And music can do the same thing. The same song can trigger different feelings in different people in different cultures. But there are universal songs you hear at football games, seminars, that for the most part, most people triggers the right feelings. So let's kick it off with the Persuasion Blunder.
Don't!
So I needed a hard drive to back up a backup. Went to a local electronics store to get a hard drive. I just needed basic, and I get there and kind of knew the basic parameters. And they're like, what are you looking for? A hard drive. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, how about this one? Not the cheapest, but it was not top of the line. Like, oh, well, this one's much faster. I'm like, don't care. Well, this one's a much smaller size. Don't care. This one has a better warranty. Don't care. This is the most popular. They kept going down, trying to upsell. Well, for only $40 more, don't care. I just wanted the basic. And this is blunder 101 for most salespeople as they try to assume what their customer wants. They didn't ask me any questions except what I was looking for. They didn't know what I was going to use it for. They didn't ask any other questions. They went straight to their pitch to increase the size of the sale by better speed. This one has smaller size, better warranty, most popular. And I even got, we only have one of these left. Whether it's true, I don't know. And I just left with the basic. They left scratching their head. I'm like, don't care. I'm going to back it up once. I don't care about the speed, whether it takes an hour, hour and 10 minutes, hour and 30 minutes. It doesn't matter to me. You have to focus on what the customer wants. I remember getting a take and bake pizza. You can get the super duper extra large for $2 more. And I'm like, no, thanks. They're like, why not? They kept going on trying to push it. Bottom line, the bigger one didn't fit in my oven. It was a great deal, but they kept pushing, and that's what we people do without really understanding the customer. And I almost left. I was just kind of fed up with the way they were trying to close me, their anti-suasion. But I didn't want to waste any more time, so I bought it. Be careful of the blunder. Find out exactly what the customer needs. Never assume you want the bigger pizza because it's a great deal. It might not fit in their oven. Which brings us to our Geeky Scarly article. This was sent to me by Ellen, one of our students. He's in the executive speech coaching program, the perfect persuasive presentation. Hey, hit me up on that. Send me a video and I will critique you for free. Let you know where you're at and what you can do and how you can improve. So this is entrepreneur.com. So Ellen sent it to me because it quotes me. Always love a good quote. It's called 5 Ways to Make Sweet Music for Your Business. So if you ever walked into a retail store and wondered why certain music is playing, they don't just guess. There's a reason to the selection. Research has shown that consumers shop longer and make more purchases when they're exposed to music. In fact, when I was researching association triggers, grocery stores play slower music because you shop 18% longer. Some stores need pick-me-up music. Some stores use relaxing music. There's a home furnishing store in Virginia called Nest Egg that plays upbeat music, and they see their customers sing along as they shop. So you have to figure out the right musical match for your target customers. If you're selling upscale products, they said classical or jazz. If you're selling teen clothes, probably upbeat modern music. Music can also help engage employees. The research shows that music can boost performance in the workplace by reducing employee stress and depression. It improves employee retention and saves company a lot of money by not losing these employees. So here are the 5 tips they came up with. And then we'll talk more about these association triggers. Number 1, keep the music in the background. They say consider music an ambiance enhancer, not the focal point of the mood you're trying to create. Here's my quote. Customers shouldn't really be aware of the music you're playing, says Kurt Mortensen, an expert on motivational psychology and author of Persuasion IQ. The music shouldn't be overpowering, rather it should be merely an atmospheric presence. Number 2, strike a balance between soft and loud. You want to keep the store's music at the right volume so you're not driving people away. They also mentioned youth-oriented stores like Abercrombie & Fitch turn the volume quite high, but that's going to deter other people away. Gift shops played a lively, upbeat tune that put shoppers at ease and created an environment of being warm and fun. So watch the volume. Their guideline is you don't want people to yell to hear their conversations. Number 3, don't get too lively. Beat matters as much as volume. The faster the store music is, people may feel stressed about how long they've been waiting in line. To some extent, slower paced music make people feel calmer, and they may spend more time in your store. According to Dr. Perner at USC. Number 4, rethink your hold music. When you put customers on hold, the last thing you want to do is make them wait silently or force them to listen to annoying music. They found at governmentauctions.org, they realized they were losing people just after 2 minutes on silent hold. So they bought a hold music machine and noticed an immediate change, that people actually started to wait longer for them to get on the phone. And number 5, make music a motivator. If your goal is to motivate and energize employees, you may get the best results by personalizing the music and using it to recognize their achievements. They talk about an internet marketing agency, and all the employees have their designated favorite song. So when someone closes a sale, comes up with a great idea, saves the company money, saves a customer, they play their song for everyone to hear. Kind of fun, kind of motivating. In fact, Thunderstruck, the way that originated for me when I was a sales manager and we had incoming calls from webinars, we played that right before the close. It got the energy. It was fun. It was different. We let other people choose different songs at different times. It's a fun thing. You can use it. It makes a big difference. It does trigger feelings and can trigger a good mood. And also a bad mood, but your goal here is to trigger a good mood. And continuing with that theme of music, let's get to listener email.
Oh, boy!
And by the way, send me an email, kurt@maximizeyourinfluence.com. If I use your email on the show, your humor, your suggestion, you get the gold version of InfluenceUniversity.com for free. So check out InfluenceUniversity.com. There is a free version, or you can send in a suggestion to get the gold version. Or if you want the lifetime membership special, 90% off, go to InfluenceUniversity.com/special. All right, there's our housekeeping. Here's our email. Adrian from England. Hey, Kurt, I was calling a company. I needed to talk to their customer service, and the hold music made me more tense, more angry. And when I talked to the customer service rep, sad to say, I let them have it. What happened? What's going on? Is this typical? Adrian, I don't know if they had the wrong kind of music, but it can happen. Usually you want music in the background that makes people calm, that's easy to listen to. For some reason, this music probably was a little too fast-paced, too energetic, maybe too modern. That made you tense. Now, it also could have been a song where, For example, if you were listening to your song and you got in a car accident, that could have a bad association trigger just for you. They could be using music that for the majority works, but it sounds like they're probably using fast-paced, energetic music, but that can make people tense and realize how long they're waiting and make them a little angrier, which is not what you want for customer service. So let's talk about this a little bit more. I mentioned earlier that up to 95% of persuasion, or the reasoning behind a consumer's purchase, is associated with a subconscious trigger, a feeling. Whether we realize it or not, we love shortcuts to thinking. When we buy something, we don't always take the time to research the product or read the latest consumer guide's rating on the product. We could rely on the salesperson advice, buy the most popular, the cheapest, rely on our friend's opinion. We don't like to admit it. Sometimes we even buy an item just because of color, smell, packaging, placement. There are a variety of different reasons. We know this is not the best way to make decisions, but we don't have the time, the energy, the mental bandwidth to analyze every product, look at the ingredients, look at what it has, look at consumer reports, recreate these shortcuts that work most of the time. Otherwise, our brain would be too overwhelmed, it would shut down, we wouldn't get anything done. So when we say it just feels right, I like this product, I don't trust this person, those are based on feelings and subconscious triggers. This is true when you meet someone for the first time. They're walking toward you, a stranger. Within seconds, a half a second, you have to decide, talk to them, run, what are you going to do, go to the other side of the street. It could be their height, it could be their smell, it could be the tone of their voice, it could be, do they have facial hair? Are they wearing sunglasses? Can you see their eyes? How close they stand to you? The color of your clothes and even background music can all trigger different feelings. Hey, if you want to know more about subconscious triggers, check out the archives at MaximizeYourInfluence.com, where we take deeper dives on everything from music to smell to symbols and even colors. They could all trigger feelings, good, help you out, or bad and repel the person. So this emotional reaction happens in the unconscious mind. It's without our awareness. And if you're familiar with the brain, it all happens in the amygdala. In fact, Joseph Ledoux of New York University says the amygdala allows emotions to dominate and control our thinking. The amygdala has control over the cortex of the brain. Okay, so what does that mean? So the cortex is responsible for memory, our awareness, our thoughts, our consciousness. The amygdala stores our memories that we associate with emotional events. This means subconscious triggers are always occurring and triggering feelings and emotions, usually without our awareness. Dr. DiMaggio says, we are not thinking machines that feel, we are feeling machines that think. So basically all the input goes through our amygdala and it taints it with a feeling or emotion. In fact, they did a study at university with college students and they divided the class in half, said, okay, here's a very controversial topic. This half you can only use logic to persuade the class. This half you can only use emotion. And they recorded these presentations. They showed other people. They said, is this logical or emotional? And people were all over the map. Some choosing logic when it was emotion. Some choosing emotion was logical. Or like, what? But then they asked one more question. Do you agree or disagree? And that's what's interesting. When they agreed, they said it was logical, whether it was or not. If they disagreed, they said it was emotional, whether it was or not. So these subconscious triggers are huge. For example, a subconscious trigger could be that smell that reminds you of a past sweetheart, color that makes you calm, trusting someone you met for the first time, body language that subconsciously makes you uneasy, the tone of someone's voice that's an instant turn on or turn off, not connecting with someone because they act similar to someone you don't like, music that increases your adrenaline level. Those are all subconscious triggers. So the key is knowing when to use and combine these subconscious triggers. We still need the logical path of persuasion, but we have to understand the emotional subconscious side. It's like an iceberg. The logical side of persuasion is what's showing the iceberg, but you know the other 90% of the iceberg's under the water. Hey, these subconscious triggers are working on us constantly. In fact, I'll put this link in the email and at MaximizeYourInfluence.com under podcast 552. I put this in Laws of Charisma. Just go to YouTube and search Monkey Business Illusion or click on the link. It's called The Invisible Gorilla Study. There's a whole book based on this, where you watch a video online and there are two basketball teams. One team is wearing white, the other is wearing black, and they pass the basketball to the other members of the team. And your job is to count how many times the white team passes the ball. And that's what your brain focuses on, the passing. And most people get the answer correct, But what they don't realize is that someone in a gorilla suit walks right through the middle of the game, looks at the camera, and beats its chest. Most people never see it, never gets on their radar, because the reality is, consciously, we could only pick up 3, maybe up to 7 things, but our subconscious picks up pretty much everything. So let's focus on the music side here. So music, similar to smells, goes right to our brain. Here's the music, and it links it with attitudes and experiences from our past. Music is closely tied to our emotions. The local gyms use upbeat music. We associate that with high energy and good times. One of my favorite examples is a local convenience store had teenagers loitering outside this convenience store. They're like, go home. They wouldn't. Call the cops. They'd leave, come back, loitering. Like, okay, what do you do? So with a flash of inspiration, the store owner put up speakers outside and started playing old-time Frank Sinatra music. And the teenagers voluntarily stopped loitering. So there's your $1 million idea. If you have teenagers at home, when the fridge opens, you need to wire it to play Frank Sinatra music, and maybe they won't eat as much. You probably remember that song played at a dance with your high school flame. Music has powerful pull on us that triggers instant memories. Department stores found a 17% increase in purchases when they started playing music. And you have to look at the pitch, the style, the rhythm, the tone, the beat. All make a difference depending on what you're selling and what you're doing. Fast food restaurants have higher beats per minute. Why? If you go to a fast food restaurant, they've got your money. Faster music, you eat faster, we get the table faster. You notice that advertisers are going to use a popular song or a catchy jingle. You've got yourself before singing that catchy jingle, right? That's great marketing. Or they get in that popular song and they attach it to the product. You like the song, you like their product. We see a lot of famous musicians promoting products because people like their music. Now, can it backfire on you? Absolutely. If there's a song from a famous musician that you put to your product and this famous musician, we're not going to name names here, got caught doing something stupid, something illegal, something appalling, now all of a sudden we have negative feelings for that product. And you watch the advertisers, they pull their product real fast because they know it can have the opposite effect. Some interesting research. Music has a positive relationship with comprehension and recall. Sales increase in restaurants and supermarkets with slower music. When music tempo was increased, so did people's happiness. And another interesting note, music does not affect consumers that are purchasing products that involve high mental involvement, like cars or computers or a home. That is where music doesn't help. So think about it. Set the right mood with your music, that desired atmosphere. In retail, we're playing upbeat, energetic music, and I'd add to seminars too, especially if there's a lot of strangers in the room in the beginning and it breaks, it does change the mood of your audience. Slower, more relaxing music can create a calming atmosphere if people are waiting in line or on hold. Restaurants like soft jazz or classical. We see online that videos have background music to enhance the customer experience. So when you're talking about pace or flow, faster music can encourage quicker movement, while slower music can encourage relaxation and browsing. Interesting, when I saw a supermarket during closing time started playing faster music to get people to walk through the store faster. Make sure you're targeting a specific demographic. Consider their age, their lifestyle before choosing your music. Clothing store for teenagers, current popular music. Coffee shop might be more alternative music. A luxury boutique could be classical music or sophisticated jazz. So use these sounds strategically. It could even be sound effects, like the cha-ching. Could be positive reinforcement that this is making money. Or you can use a jingle or a piece of music to create that brand identity, your signature sound. If you notice on the podcast, I use different sound effects. McDonald's has their iconic jingle that we instantly associate with McDonald's. Intel, the computer chip. And that's known as a distinctive audio logo that reinforces their brand. Apple does it. You can see it everywhere. So just to recap, slow and instrumental music creates a sense of space and tranquility. Soft and mellow classical music, calming. and is known for its sophisticated qualities. Smooth jazz creates relaxation and creates a more sophisticated atmosphere. Nature sounds, usually combined with music. That could be rain, flowing water, waves, birds. And that's usually combined with soft instrumental music. Creates a calming blend, creates a sense of peace. Or if you hear guitar or piano instrumentals, can create a warm or intimate feeling. It matters. Look at the music. Is it hold? Is it in a meeting? Is it before a meeting? Is it at a break? It is on your website. Is it in your tutorials, your product reviews, whatever it is? And the power and persuasive nature of music. There you have it. That is our podcast for today. This is podcast 552. Remember the special of influenceuniversity.com/special, 90% off, lifetime membership. Hey, check out the free version if you want. It is my life's work in one spot, from the books to the audios to the videos to the 52-week program to the library to the persuasion software that persuades for you. Take something you learned from today's podcast, apply it, use it, make a difference in your presence, in your influence, in your charisma, in your presentations, in your rapport, and go out and persuade with power.